Jennifer Garner has always seemed like the embodiment of grace under pressure, a steady force in a whirlwind world of flashing cameras and public scrutiny. From her breakout moment in Alias to the magical charm of 13 going on 30, Jennifer carved out a place in Hollywood that was uniquely hers. Her smile, always warm, her energy, always authentic. What the world saw on screen was only a small part of her story. Behind the red carpets and blockbuster roles, Jennifer has walked a personal path filled with heartbreak, resilience, and now, an unimaginable loss that is quietly reshaping her world. Something has happened. Something deeply personal, and it's the kind of moment that changes everything. Her romantic journey has long been under the watchful eye of the public. All began with Scott Foley, a fellow actor she met while working on Felicity. They seemed like a sweet match, two rising stars finding love on set. But the whirlwind faded as quickly as it came. By 2003, the marriage ended, quietly, respectfully, a brief chapter that closed too soon. Life had something else waiting for her, a connection that would define much of her adult life. Then entered Ben Affleck, and suddenly, it felt like Hollywood had a new favorite couple. Chemistry was magnetic from the start. Met during the filming of Daredevil, and sparks turned into something lasting, or so everyone hoped. Their wedding in 2005 was the beginning of what looked like a dream. They welcomed 3 children, Violet, Serafina, and Samuel. And for a while, the picture was perfect. Jennifer became the steady anchor in Ben's often turbulent waters. She was the one constant, especially during his battles with addiction and personal struggles. Through it all, she stood beside him, not as a celebrity, but as a partner and mother, determined to hold her family together. But even the strongest foundations can crack under enough weight. Over the years, distance and complications crept in. Fairy tale turned into a quiet unraveling, and by 2018, they had finalized their divorce. Still, Jennifer never walked away completely. Her support for Ben continued, whether it was driving him to rehab or publicly defending his role as a father. She was there, not for the cameras, for the kids, for the love that once was. But just as she began healing from that chapter, life threw her into another storm, one far more painful and far less public. Until now, Jennifer started to smile again thanks to someone outside the Hollywood bubble. John Miller, a tech CEO with a calm demeanor and a grounded lifestyle, entered her life. There were no paparazzi-chased dates or red carpet appearance. Their relationship bloomed in quiet spaces and offered her something rare: normalcy. With him, Jennifer found peace, a life without scripts, lights, or expectations, just companionship and healing. For the first time in a long time, she looked genuinely content. Friends said she was laughing more, sleeping better. It was the calm after the storm. But storms, as we know, sometimes return when we least expect them. And then came the diagnosis, the kind of news that can hollow out even the strongest hearts. It wasn't Jennifer herself, but someone deeply close to her, someone whose presence is woven into her soul. Kind of heartbreak that doesn't make headlines, but changes a person forever. Jennifer is now facing the emotional weight of saying goodbye, not in the loud way, but in quiet moments, family whispers, and the kind of tears that fall when no one is watching. She's confronting this chapter with the same grace she's always shown, but this time, the cost is heavier. What makes this moment even more profound is how Jennifer is choosing to cope. She hasn't turned to the spotlight for sympathy. There's no dramatic public statement. Instead, she's leaning into family, into the rhythms of daily life, into the moments that matter most. It's in how she shows up for her children, how she checks in on loved ones, and how she keeps moving forward, step by step, even when the weight feels unbearable. This isn't just a story of grief, it's a story of strength, of a woman who's been through the storm and still finds a way to stand, who's faced public heartbreak, personal loss, and still leads with kindness, who still manages to make space for joy, even when sorrow threatens to take the air out of the room. And perhaps most importantly, it's a story that asks us to look past the headlines, to see the human being behind the fame, the mother behind the smile, the daughter holding back tears. What happened to Jennifer Garner is not just news, it's deeply human. And as this chapter unfolds, we're reminded that even the most beloved stars live with the kind of pain that doesn't fit into sound bites. The next time she's seen smiling on a red carpet, remember this moment. Because behind every flash of a camera is a world of emotion we may never fully understand. And this is only the beginning, because what Jennifer does next, how she continues to carry her past, her pain, and her strength, might just be the most powerful part of her story yet. Just when Jennifer Garner thought she'd found her calm after the storm, life threw her into yet another emotional spiral. The man who had helped her stitch her heart back together, the one who quietly stepped into her life and made her believe in love again, was now facing something no one ever saw coming. News quietly surfaced, cloaked in whispers and half-confirmed reports, that John Miller, her partner and confidant, had received a grave diagnosis, one that would shake the very foundation of the life they'd built together. Friends close to the couple say the revelation felt like the ground vanishing beneath their feet. After weathering a very public heartbreak with grace, Jennifer was once again facing a challenge that no amount of fame or fortune could shield her from. John, the unassuming tech executive who stayed far from Hollywood spotlights, had become Jennifer's safe space. He brought steadiness into her world of flashing cameras and relentless headlines. And now, in a cruel twist of fate, she was the one anchoring him through a deeply personal and difficult battle. Without hesitation, Jennifer cleared her schedule, quietly stepping away from projects and public appearances to stand beside the man she loved. One friend described her as unwavering, a quiet storm of strength who refused to leave John's side, no matter how uncertain the road ahead became. Every hospital visit, every procedure, every sleepless night, Jennifer was there, holding his hand, lending him her quiet courage. But love doesn't always rewrite fate. As John's health continued to deteriorate, it became painfully clear that the road they had hoped to walk together might be much shorter than they dreamed. And yet, Jennifer didn't falter. She became his advocate, his caretaker, and his strength. The woman the world had watched for years on screen now faced her most gripping role off-screen, saying goodbye to someone who had once brought her back to life. Behind her gentle smile and public poise was a woman living moment to moment, trying to grasp every second before it slipped through her fingers. Behind closed doors, her world was growing quieter and heavier. John, once a strong and steady presence, now leaned on her more than ever. Jennifer, always the nurturer, never hesitated. Those who knew her best say that even as she carried the emotional weight of the situation, she shielded her children from the full depth of the pain, choosing love and comfort over fear and despair. Her kids, who had come to know John as more than just their mom's partner, were slowly prepared for the reality no family wants to face. It wasn't just about losing someone, it was about losing the future they'd all begun to believe in. In these trying times, Jennifer turned to the few she held close. Reese Witherspoon, a trusted friend with a heart as big as her own, became a sounding board, while longtime confidant Victor Garber reminded her of her strength when she struggled to see it in herself. But even the best support system can't soften the blow when the person you love is slipping away. There are moments in life where no words can make it better, and Jennifer was now living through one of those moments. As the inevitable approached, Jennifer began crafting something deeply personal and profoundly moving, a farewell that would honor the life they shared. She didn't want John's final chapter to be written in pain. She wanted it to be written in love. With quiet grace, she planned a small, tender goodbye. No media circus, no grand gestures, just the people who mattered most, gathered to celebrate the love and memories that would never be forgotten. They laughed over old stories, cried over the dreams they'd once made, and held each other in silence when words failed them. These weren't Hollywood moments. They were human ones. Raw, real, and unforgettable. Jennifer knew that this goodbye wasn't just about letting go of John. It was about letting go of what might have been. The vacations they'd never take. The anniversaries they'd never reach. The simple mornings over coffee that now lived only in memories. And yet, in the face of all of it, she didn't retreat. Stood tall. She made sure John was surrounded by love, peace, and the comfort of knowing he mattered deeply. Even as her heart broke, Jennifer found a way to cherish the love they'd shared, rather than drown in sorrow. In the quiet, there was gratitude. In the pain, there was purpose. Love story with John may have ended far too soon, but it was no less powerful for it. Because in the end, Jennifer Garner didn't just say goodbye. She gave him a final gift, the kind of love that endures, even after the last goodbye. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of all, that even in the face of unimaginable loss, she chose love, always love. And the world, watching from afar, saw not just a celebrity, but a woman whose heart refuses to break, without first beating fiercely for the ones she loved. Even when the world crumbles around her, Jennifer Garner walks forward, not because it's easy, but because she knows no other way. The past few months have tested every part of her being, yet somehow, she's finding glimmers of peace in the smallest of places. A quiet morning with her kids, a recipe she shares on Instagram, a letter from a fan saying her strength helped them keep going. Jennifer, healing isn't loud. It's found in the gentle rhythm of everyday life, slowly resuming its course. But make no mistake, the ache is still there. The silence left behind by John Miller's absence follows her into every room. What makes it even more heartbreaking is how deeply entwined John had become in the fabric of her life, not just as a partner, but as a quiet force of stability after the storms she'd weathered. Losing him wasn't just losing love, it was losing the future they built in whispered promises and shared hopes. And yet, there's something unshakable about Jennifer. Even in grief, she's choosing movement over stillness. Her children remain her anchor. Violet, Serafina, and Samuel are watching her, learning not just about loss, but about how to stand up when the weight feels unbearable. There's a powerful kind of parenting happening here, not with lectures or lessons, but by example. One friend close to the family revealed, Jennifer's focus hasn't wavered. She wants her kids to see that love can be eternal, even after goodbye. In the midst of sorrow, she's pouring herself into causes that have always mattered to her. From childhood education reform to providing aid through her work with Save the Children, her is transforming heartbreak into a source of purpose. It's almost as if giving to others reminds her that she still has something to offer, even when her heart feels fractured. What's remarkable is how she's chosen not to retreat from the world. She still smiles in paparazzi photos, still shows up to support her friends, and still radiates that familiar warmth we've all grown to love over the decades. Behind that smile is a woman who knows that healing isn't about forgetting. It's about remembering with love rather than pain. And she's choosing to carry John's memory like a flame that lights her path instead of a shadow that clouds it. The world thinks of Jennifer Garner. It's easy to recall the iconic roles: Sydney Bristow sprinting across rooftops, or the sweet, confused teenager in 13 Going on 30, who charmed her way into our hearts. But today, it's not the red carpet glamour or blockbuster headlines that define her. This quiet resilience. She's not just a star. She's a symbol of how to keep breathing when the world stops. One insider close to the actress revealed an intimate detail that took everyone by surprise. Jennifer has kept a journal, pages filled with her memories of John. Not just the big milestones, but the small moments that mattered most. A walk in the rain, a shared glance across a dinner table, a laugh so loud it echoed into the night. That journal, we're told, is something she plans to one day share with her children, a testament not only to John, but to the beauty of love that stays even after people leave. And speaking of beauty, let's pause and look at the world Jennifer has quietly built around her. While she never flaunts it, her life reflects decades of hard work and smart financial choices. Jennifer has owned several luxurious homes, including a stunning Pacific Palisades estate, valued at over $15 million. The real estate portfolio also includes countryside retreats where she escapes with her kids. Her vehicle of choice, sleek black Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon and a hybrid Lexus, often spotted when she runs errands. Practical yet effortlessly stylish. On her wrist, she favors timeless pieces from Cartier and Patek Philippe, echoing her preference for understated elegance. She doesn't own a private jet. She's frequently seen flying charter for privacy and comfort. Over the years, she's made strategic investments, including co-founding organic food companies and backing educational tech startups. Insiders say she has comprehensive insurance coverage for her health, career delays, and high-value assets. Her financial strategy? Balance. She lives well, gives generously, and plans smart. Proof that steady, thoughtful growth can be just as powerful as flashy ventures. It's in moments like these that the contrast between Jennifer's public poise and private heartbreak becomes most poignant. She's lived through the headlines, Divorces, co-parenting challenges, now this unbearable goodbye. And each time she has found a way to rise. Not by pretending everything is okay, but by embracing life with all its heartbreaks and holding space for joy anyway. That might just be Jennifer Garner's greatest strength. Her refusal to let pain define her. Story isn't about a woman broken by love, but one shaped by it. She isn't burying her sorrow, she's walking through it, hand in hand with her children, with her memories, and with the quiet confidence that brighter days will return. That resilience, that grace under pressure, is what keeps her story so deeply moving. So what lies ahead for Jennifer? No one truly knows, but what we do know is this: she'll keep showing up for her kids, her causes, her audience. She'll keep laughing, probably while baking something warm and sweet in her kitchen. She'll keep loving, because that's who she is. Wow, what a journey we've been on together. From shocking revelations and heartbreaking farewells, to luxury lifestyles and private moments that somehow made us feel like we were right there beside them. It has been a story full of emotion, resilience, and unexpected twists. We watched as Jennifer Garner opened a chapter of love with John Miller. Quiet, grounded, and so far from the Hollywood flash we're used to. Then, just as quickly, we witnessed that chapter close in the most painful of ways. And through it all, Jennifer didn't crumble. She adapted. She found strength in her children, her purpose in helping others, and a kind of peace in honoring what was lost while still choosing to move forward. We got to peek into her real life, not the red carpet version, but the day-to-day version. The one where she's whipping up a recipe while grieving silently. The one where she's driving her kids to school in a luxury SUV, and then heading to a charity board meeting with that trademark Jennifer Garner warmth. We talked about her incredible portfolio, her homes, her understated elegance, her smart investments, her rock-solid insurance plans. If anything, Jennifer showed us how a celebrity can live well without living loud. And seriously, how many people can teach us about wealth, loss, love, parenting, and personal growth all in one story? So here's the fun part. We want to hear from you. Part of Jennifer's journey moved you the most? Is it the way she's raising her kids through grief? Her ability to keep her smile through tragedy? Or maybe just how grounded she's stayed despite the fame? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, and we love hearing how these stories hit home for you. Hey, if this story pulled at your heartstrings or maybe even gave you a new perspective, do us a favor, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and tap the bell so you never miss another deep dive like this one. We've got more powerful celebrity stories lined up, some with surprises, some with scandals, and some that'll just make you smile. Coming up soon, an A-list actor's shocking exit from Hollywood, a 90s icon's unexpected comeback, truth behind a long-lost Hollywood friendship that will leave you speechless. So stay tuned, because just like Jennifer Garner reminded us, life doesn't always go the way we planned. Sometimes, in the mess, there's meaning. In the heartbreak, there's hope. Every good story, there's always a reason to keep turning the page. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other. And remember, sometimes the strongest people are the ones who keep showing up quietly, consistently, with a pie in the oven and a heart full of love.